Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. I am your host, the romantic funny man, Shawn Cornelius, and I have a fantastic guest joining me today, and we'll talk about her in just a few minutes. But I want to thank BronxNet for housing me again. And if you're not once again, if you're not able to catch me on BronxNet, you can catch me on FiOS 213032, and also you can catch me on BronxNet.org and you can watch the show. So it's Sean, the Romantic Funny Man Canadian, After Dark with Sean Cornelius. I want to thank everybody that joins me every week, Monday at 10:30 to watch the show. And thank you so much for your kind your words. And if you want to send me something, you can send me obviously through the email at SeanPooCornelius at gmail.com. But I have a wonderful guest. I have a wonderful guest on the show tonight, and she's been on before with a group of folks, but now she's back here by herself, and she's been doing some things, so we can dig a little deeper. And I can tell you a few more things that she told me that she possibly wants to do, and we'll get her to expand on some of that stuff. She played my lady friend Angel in the movie. Whatever it takes. When Blood Runs Cold. Well, you know the movie I was in. I hate talking about it all sometimes, and also in the short film. Uh, so we're gonna let her come on and do her thing, and it's a pleasure having her come to sit down and talk with us tonight. And she played Angel, and she played it well, and she's got her own things going on. So Wakillah, please welcome her to the show. We want to thank you for joining us and hanging out. And oh, you look very warm.
I'm trying to stay that way. The
That's
cold and I, we are not friends.
yeah. Well, that's cool. The cold and I aren't friends, even though you know it's coming. So you got to hang in there.
It's here. It's here.
All right. Well,
Nothing
you look
we can do
wonderful.
about it. Thank
Things
you.
look very, very good. You look well.
Good. Yeah, things are going well. I cannot complain. And you look well too. Sean,
Thank
the
you.
romantic, funny man, Cornelius.
Yeah, yeah, hanging in there, trying to do my thing. So this is fantastic. So thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk
Okay.
about some of your early beginnings because we met years ago
Years ago, yeah.
doing some plays. But tell the people about you. Tell them who you are. Tell them where you come from. Give them a little information, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'm Wakila Shasine. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. One of my passions, as Sean knows, is theater and the arts. Though that wasn't really something I pursued educationally. I was probably, just a little bit confused, didn't see a pathway. So I kind of pursued other avenues, studied political science for a little while, and ended up getting a degree in accounting. But, that passion for performing and the passion for the arts never went away. So thankfully, I took some acting classes in New York
Right,
and
right.
came across one of my classmates who knew someone who produced and wrote and directed plays. And so I went on an audition or reading and got casted for a role in one of those plays. And that is actually where I met you, Sean, many, many years
Yes,
ago.
yes, yes, yes.
And, so whenever and however I can, I always try to uh, direct myself to my passion of acting, performing, um, while trying to balance everything else.
Right, right. We met basically. You're not a New Yorker. You're originally you're Connecticut, if I'm correct.
That is
But
correct.
we met in New York, and we met during Bonnie. Miss Bonnie was doing her productions, and we kind of met during that kind of situation. And we did several of her plays and things just to continue our love for the arts. And it was just the acting part of it. And then we met later on, years again after starting off there, and I had someone to play Angel, and she didn't work out. And then I thought about you, but let's talk about some of the things. Is it just acting that caught your attention, or is it other stuff?
I would say other stuff. I think that acting and performing is probably my greatest passion as far as the arts. However, I also am a lover of music. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do and wanted to learn was percussion. So,
Okay.
um, right before the pandemic, I decided that I was going to take drumming lessons, and I did that. Loved it, love it still. But when 2020 hit and COVID-19, came onto the scene, all of us were kind of forced to redirect,
Right. Right.
adjust,
Right.
hunker
Yes.
down a little bit, and just focus on our health. I did practice. I do and continue to practice at home. So that is something.
Oh wait, are you practicing now? Or are you just telling us that? Or
No, no, I do practice. I do practice. I do
Okay.
have a little drum pad, and I have
Okay.
my
All right.
sticks.
And so
I
you
don't know.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't have a drum kit at this time. I'm not sure how my neighbors would feel about that,
Right.
but
Right.
at some point, that is the goal. I do want to get back into the studio at least and just, rock out. I love it. Live music is something that I love to, see and witness.
Right.
Um, and I just love to be a part of it. I'd love to fully, immerse myself
Yeah.
in music.
Now that's something you told me about. You told me about when we would talk, and you said the drumming is something that you want to do. We know Sheila E. obviously is a percussionist, one of the greatest percussionists that's out there. Who fell into through her family roots. And you said you wanted to do some of that stuff. Have you been able to perform live, doing any percussion since you fell in love doing or you wanted to do percussion?
I have not. I have not. Not yet. I would never speak oblivion out
Right,
into the
right,
universe. So I
right.
would say not yet. Maybe at
Okay.
some point in the future, but not as of yet.
Well, if you're out there listening and you're gonna want a percussionist who looks the way that Wakila looks, and and you want to get her going, you know how. Well, we'll make sure you have information to contact her. Okay, so you jumped off of that. So that's a passion, that's a love. But you did your acting thing, and you continue to do your acting thing now. And we ran into each other, and you got into doing the role of Angel, and there were some things that you talked about prior to with me, um, but you did a great role. The character that you built, um, people enjoyed it. People loved the character. Where did you get the inspiration for Angel outside of me talking to you?
Yeah, I think that, as you and I discussed, it was such I have to say, back up just a little bit. I absolutely love the work of making a character come to life.
Hmm.
I love developing my interpretation of a character, and
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I love the energy of you know um, the other actors that are in the same scene. So, um, just with that and the conversations that you and I have had, and just drew a little bit from personal experience. Although Angel is not very much like Wakila, not very much like Wakila. However, I will say that sometimes Angel may react in ways that Wakila may be thinking,
Right, right.
but Wakila is very self controlled and, composed most of the time. Angel is, your pop off queen. So I had a lot of fun, a lot of fun playing Angel. So to answer your question, as far as the inspiration, I think it was just a culmination of those things. I think that um, I tried to put myself out of Wakila's mind and really ask myself, now, how would Angel respond to this circumstance or this situation? And I
Right.
just went with it.
Right. And if you haven't seen it, you're able to just contact me, and you'll find out. I'll tell you how to get a hold of it so you can check it out. But she did a great job. Started out telling me how nervous she was and all these other little things that came
All the
about
time,
every time. And then when we
all the
finally
time.
did the rehearsal, and then the guys, it was a whole bunch of extra stuff surrounding her playing the role of Angel, but she did a great job. Um,
Thank you.
you pulled a lot of your own experience from Angel, as you said. You took some. Did you take some of your experience and throw in there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, just being a young, I wouldn't say just a young woman, but Angel is a woman. Being a young
Yeah,
woman
she
and
was. She
being,
was my girlfriend. Yes, she was.
yes,
Let's put that out
that's
there. She
right.
was. Yes.
Yeah. And, just having experienced some of life, a lot of good, a lot of bad, but also knowing what a relationship could be. And that being the kind of center of what she was trying to get at. I think that was in her mind the goal. She just wanted it how she wanted it when she wanted it, and she made that known.
Yeah, yeah, she did. Yes, she did. Because Paul, her boyfriend, was a little bit more. I can't say a little bit more, but he was serious minded about what he was doing, his career, his sister, and his daughter, and a whole bunch of other things going on, and trying to put all that together, and have Angel in there as well with all of her stuff. And Angel had her own personality, obviously, and so how did you get to your character, Angel? What did you do outside of looking at some real people, probably, to play the role of Angel?
One thing I've learned to do is, and you maybe you do the same thing, but one thing I've learned to do, and I think it helps, is say the same line 50 times.
Right.
And every time you say a line,
Hmm.
say it a different way. Say it a different way. And something about saying your lines in different ways, it may trigger a thought, it may trigger a feeling, and it comes across when you are involved in the dialogue, I think. So that's one of the things that, I've tried to do
Right.
over time. You live with the lines, and I know that you probably use some of the same techniques that we've learned.
Hmm.
You really do live with the lines. You really
Right.
do. You say it in the shower, you say it when you get up, you say it, when you're walking around the house, you say it when you're driving in the car, and you
Right.
really just internalize um, your lines, and you put your mind you put your mind in that feeling. How would you feel? And you kind of put
Right.
yourself aside and really tell yourself, this is me, this is a moment that I'm experiencing right now.
Right. Now, but okay. So as far as your acting, let's step away from your acting for a second. In the movie, you did acting leading up to the movie, and then you stopped doing acting for a little while, and you were always, being a mother and doing all these other things. Um, how is it to be the mother, jump back into the acting, know that's maybe the acting and the drumming and all these other things are what you want to do, but you have to be a mother first, and
Absolutely.
you have to go to work first, and you got to do that. Make sure
Absolutely.
your household is together, which can help in your acting as well. Um,
Absolutely.
but talk about being a mother and raising your children.
That's right. Yeah. So I am a mother of two. I have two sons. They are teenagers. I have a 19-year-old now, ooh, and a
Right.
16-year-old. So it's a challenge, like, any like you and anyone else who's listening can understand. Now, I also, man, like you said, I'm a mother first.
Hmm.
However, I
Hmm.
I also think that it's important for your children to see you diving into what you're passionate about. I think it's important because in some kind of way, you're kind of just showing them that it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to dive right into something that you're passionate about.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
and you end up inspiring them in the process. So they see that, you might be away from home, a couple of hours or whatever time it takes, but they understand that you're doing something that you love. And it also encourages them to find what they love and understand that, the time is required and it's okay to do that.
Right. And
It's
see,
okay to
that's
put
what
time.
That's why I like doing this show, because it's not just about the artsy stuff. All of us are regular people, as well. We just, a lot of times I use my comedy or my art to sometimes help me with some of the problems or the situations that I have, and it could be good. But you have this. You're a parent first, and then you do your craft. So being a parent, you have these responsibilities, and you know what you're supposed to do on certain levels, and it can get rough depending on whether you're a parent by yourself or you're a parent with someone else. You spent more time being a parent than you wanted to do your craft, but you still have your craft. How hard is that to stay focused on? Like when I asked you to do Angel, you jumped right in, even though I know you had times where you just, that you couldn't do. Call me and we'll go over the lines. How hard is that to do, to keep your focus on what you're doing in your craft wise when you got things going on at home?
Oh, it's super duper hard. It's super duper hard, super challenging. But something that I tell my children all the time: hard doesn't mean impossible. Just because something is hard, it doesn't mean you can't do it.
Right, right,
And,
right,
a lot of times I'm sure we've all heard the saying, do as I say, not as I do. It don't
right.
always work like that. So I think that, just kind of being an example of what
Sure.
you also preach,
Hmm.
it helps you and it helps them, I think. So it's a win in some ways for everyone involved, because you're kind of being an example of a value that you try to instill.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I think it's challenging in that way, but it's the reward far outweighs, the challenge.
Well, let's talk about the COVID situation.
Yeah,
We it was hard. We jumped in doing the film and got the film done before COVID actually hit. But then we had that.
just
Let's
months before, I
just
would
months.
say,
Yep,
right? Months
yep.
before,
So we had our debut in January,
right?
and then in March, that's when everything hit of 2020, 2020, something like 20,
20,
something like
twenty
that.
twenty. I know it's hard to
And
believe it's been 2 years, but yeah, 2020.
yeah, um, that's another thing that was thrown on top of us, that we had to deal with. How hard was that for you to deal with, coming off of that, going into you know the COVID situation? Let's just talk about
Yeah,
that year. Let's just talk about that year and being a parent.
yeah, that was such a crazy time. I don't think anybody could have ever expected that we would experience and live through, that time. And we're still living through it. I don't think that was never in anyone's wildest imagination, and just having to kind of find your way through and establish a new normal. Kids were schooling from home, people were working from home. You know, something simple like going out to buy groceries, checking on your loved ones.
Right, right. Hmm.
Unfortunately, my family and I suffered a loss during that period of time, and that was also very challenging. So just trying to establish a new way of life and adjust to what was going on. But I'll also say that it did offer a new perspective, and that perspective is we're not here forever. Time is limited,
Right,
so maximize the time that you have and really appreciate every moment, every moment with your family, and not just your family, but yourself. You have to pour into yourself as well, and it's okay to do that. It's
right.
okay to do that.
And I wanted to talk to people that are doing entertainment and this show basically, but also people that are really dealing with. And I got some shows. I have some shows coming up where I don't. They're not actors, or they're not actresses, or they're not musicians. They're just what people call normal, regular folks, and what they've had to go through, because you have this side of it, and then you have the regular side of it, and it's been rough. You take off your actor's gear, you take off your actor's cloak, and you become a real person, a regular quote unquote person, And it's hard. It's been hard, and it still is
Oh
hard
yeah.
for a lot of folks. What do you do? I know I have my bass. Sometimes I
Mm,
have my piano. Sometimes
mm.
I have my writing. I to get out of. What do you do? What does Wakila do to kind of? I know one thing you do. Like sometimes you'll go to the park,
Oh
or you'll
yeah.
stop there and just let things flow. But what else do you do to kind of
Absolutely.
let things go? Because you have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Self-care. Self-care is something that I've been trying to get better at as time goes on. I think that, especially Black women, I will say, we are so used to pouring into our children, pouring into our families.
Right, right,
A
right,
lot of us have that superwoman complex where we just feel like we are supposed to take care of everything. That is what we do. And I think that, me just paying more attention and being more mindful of taking care of myself. And you mentioned, I love to be by the water, in the city where I'm from, Bridgeport,
right,
Connecticut.
right.
We
Yeah.
do have a beautiful park that is, waterside. So I spend time out there, and that's a meditative space for me. I'm able to, you know, release a lot of things, explore thoughts, hear my
Sure,
own self
sure.
think. And also I listen to music. Whatever mood I'm in, I find music it relaxes me, it soothes me, it's stimulating. So those are some of the things that I do.
All right, really quickly, since you said that, give us a song that comes right off the top of your head that you would turn to automatically to just kind of and
Hmm.
sit back. It's the first song you go to anytime that you have a problem.
Yeah,
Mine
they
is
are.
because mine is "Let's Get It On." You can ask me, Marvin
Okay.
Gaye, "Let's Get It On," and it's just the
Okay.
music, it's the singing, it's. What is your favorite song?
I get it. I know a lot of people who Marvin Gaye is a favorite for. My
Yeah.
favorite musician of all time, and I'm a hip hop head. I gotta say, I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop. It's probably my favorite genre of music. However,
Mm.
Stevie Wonder is my favorite artist of all time. It is
Yes, yes,
impossible
yes.
for me to stay down and listen to a couple of Stevie tracks. So I would
Okay,
say Stevie Wonder.
okay.
There's
All right.
also there's also another artist,
Who's that?
a jazz musician by the name of Christian Scott. Christian Scott.
Okay,
Tunde Adjuwa.
I'll have to look
He's
him up.
he's a horn player. Man, he's great. He's got so many great tracks, but one that I like to go to is Diaspora. So
Okay.
when you get a chance, check that out.
All right. You
You'll
make
like it.
sure I have. You have to make sure you send it to me, and
I'll send it to you.
I'll go take a listen. All right. So let's jump on some happy stuff. Let's get happy again.
All
You
right.
you jumped into this role, Angel. I took Angel out of the movie and made her and put her into just say you love me, because it was something about that collaboration, that connection, and that worked out and won awards for best play type of deal. Um, when you jumped into Angel and you got into Angel and she loved Paul and all these other things, when you left, because I don't want to give too much of the movie away if people didn't see it. You played that very well. That scene went very well. And then towards the end, where did you get that? Was it something you pulled from your inner life that you jumped off of to use for those later scenes?
Um, I would say, if anything, sometimes crossroads are very uncomfortable. They scare us. We're afraid of the unknown. But sometimes crossroads are important, because depending on which direction you turn, you can either grow or not. And sometimes there could be a direction you take where it's a risk. Um, but you got to go with your gut. You got to go with your heart. And I think that, mindset was what helped me, through that transition period for Angel.
Okay, all right, all right. And we did. There was a script I wrote for a future situation with Angel and Paul involved, and obviously I only have one Angel, I have one angel, and she grows. She has grown on me,
Literally.
literally, literally. And what is it about Angel that you think makes her the perfect match for Paul, uh, from the beginning and now and going further?
Hmm. I think maybe Paul um enjoys Angel's directness because Paul's got some conflicts. He's got some stuff, and Angel's got stuff too. But he's got some stuff with him, and sometimes he might be a little unsure or just in his head a little bit, trying to work through some things. And I think that Angel's directness, um, her strong personality and her need for his attention, it's kind of like a reprieve for him to put all his stuff aside and really give Angel the attention that she demands.
Yeah, and she does demand it. She does
And
demand it.
that's right.
All right. Well, I wish you much success on your drumming, your future drumming.
Thank you.
We talked about that, and I wish you much success again with your young ones. You've been obviously been doing a great job with them,
Thank
for them to do what they're doing, and success on your career, um,
thank you.
with Angel and without Angel. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you give your information just in case someone wants to reach out to you to grab you up for a drumming situation or grab you up for an actress situation.
Oh,
And then we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and we're going to find out about your love and romance relationship side.
all right.
And then we'll see what happens. So just give your information, how people can get in touch with you if they like to get in touch with you and find out some more about Wakillah Angel.
Sure. Yeah. So I am on social media, Facebook as Wakillah Amina, and on Instagram as Killer Queen Amina. So that's where you can find me.
All right, and really quickly, are you planning on doing anything else in your future? Is there anything coming up? I know we just got back. People are out, but it's crazy again. Are you doing anything in your private to put out there so people can connect or watch, or where can people go and watch and see some stuff that you did besides
Yeah.
whatever it takes?
Not working on anything at the moment. I am, looking to do some things in the future, of course. Um, so I'm sure that you probably have information as to where uh, folks can see.
Where they can get you?
What's that?
Well, you said where they can find you. I have
Well, where,
information.
where where they could find the film.
Well, they can
Just
find the film, sure,
just
whatever
just
it
say,
takes.
yeah,
Yeah.
just say you love me, and
Uh,
whatever it takes when blood runs cold.
Matter of fact, I'll give them a trailer in the break, in the commercial break, so they can watch and see, and they can just go find that on my Facebook. I mean, my YouTube page. But don't try to switch it up and change it and put it on me.
Yeah,
Like I've had
in the
trying to.
spirit of Angel, huh?
You would be you would be a great hostess, no problem. What we're gonna do? Um, all right. Well, we'll let you take a break. Take a short break. We'll do some commercials. We'll come on really quickly, and then we'll get into our second half of the show.
All right, sounds good.
This has been wonderful. You guys are sitting there watching After Dark with Shawn Cornelius and my special guest, Wakillah Angel. And say your last name.
Shasign. It
So
looks
people
it
know.
looks harder than it actually is. It's only two syllables.
Yeah, boy, you go ahead. She puts her last name up there. Well, you guys be like, who? Yeah, whatever. Okay, good. So you just sit back, relax, and we'll be right back with this after the short break.
Paul,
Yeah, Angel.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
I love you. Do you love me?
what's your definition of love?
It was just yesterday that you walked away from me. You took your heart.
I am your host, the romantic funny man, Shawn Cornelius, and it's that time, y'all. It's that time. I am your host.
What's going on? This is Wanye Morris of Boys to Men here, showing love and support for my boy, Shawn Cornelius, and his Enough is Enough movement to stop the senseless killings. We need to stand strong, y'all, together and heal our country. So, keep up the good work, SC. Much love, yo. Peace.
As I walk through my neighborhood.
You know, sometimes life can really get you down. But it seems like your world is closing in on you, on school and friends and your job and your community, and you just feel like you have no way out. But I'm here to let you know that you do. So please, we all go through things, everybody in life. So if you feel like you can't make it and you can't do another day, please reach out and talk to someone. Talk to a family member, talk to a friend, talk to a counselor. Find someone that you can talk to. Pick up your phone and call your local suicide prevention hotline if you feel like you don't want to go on. Because I'm here to let you know that you are loved by someone, and everyone has dark days. I'm Mocha Black, and I care. No more madness, no more sadness. It's time to fix our world.
It's time to start being responsible.
It's time to put the guns down. It's time to stop the racism.
It's time to be my brother and sister's keeper. It's time for real change. It's time for love to begin.
It's time to stop selling drugs in our community.
It's time to be a father to your sons and daughters.
It's time to increase the peace. It's time to increase the love.
It's time to stop domestic violence.
It's time to practice safe sex.
It's time to shelter the homeless. It's time to feed the hungry. It's time to stop killing each other.
It's time.
It's time. Yes, it's time. It's time. We're we're back with After Dark with Shawn Cornelius and my special guest Wakillah, in parentheses, Angel. Did you recognize that young lady in the very first commercial?
Oh, goodness. I think, as you know, it's cringy when you see yourself on screen. That's my least favorite part of the process.
Right. But you did a great job, and you can just check out Just Say You Love Me on my Facebook page, and it's out there. But now we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna loosen it up some. So I just need you to say abracadabra really quickly.
Abracadabra.
Oh my goodness, you worked out. All right. So we'll see what happens. Usually when people say abracadabra on this page, on this situation here, we go into our love zone, obviously. And our love zone is we talk about love, relationships, romance, things on that level. So let's get an idea of what's going on with you by you just giving us your definition of love. What is your definition of love?
My definition of love, it's not singular. First of all, there's different types of love. If you're referring to romantic love, Um, Romantic love, I feel, is a deep respect and admiration for someone.
Okay. Okay. That sounds like a winner. All right. And I got your message, so we'll do what we can on this situation. um, what is your definition of romance?
Romance, my definition of romance. Romance is an effort that you put forth to really um, provide a way to your partner to make them understand that you hear them, you see them, and that you want to give them something that they want, need, or desire.
Okay. Now I want to let you guys know I didn't give her these questions before, and so if they sound
Oh,
really easy, then
oh goodness.
they're cool. You should get it. All right. Give us an example of your favorite date or a date that you can give us. The guy did things right. What should the date be like?
What should it? Oh man, sheesh.
Yeah.
This is the romantic funny man that I'm talking to right now.
Oh
No,
yeah. I'm trying to
oh,
find out.
goodness.
I'm trying to find these things out.
Man. I have to say, my favorite date, if you want to call it that, um, there was a date that I went on. Coincidentally, we went to a comedy show,
Okay.
and after that, we grabbed a bite, um, and we drove by the water,
Hmm.
walked along the pathway next to the water, and
Mhm.
talked and talked and talked until the sun came up. That's actually a true story.
Okay. And it could be
Uh,
whatever it is. That
yeah,
sounds like a wonderful thing if two people
that
are
was
on
a
that
nice
level.
time. Yeah.
Right. If two people are on that level, then it's fantastic. That's the way it works. Okay. All right. So you're walking down your beach or whatever it is by yourself. You happen to, you want to kick a can out of the way of the sand so it can be a beautiful beach. Out comes me. Out comes your genie for the
The
day.
romantic funny man? Oh
The
wow.
romantic funny
Okay.
man
All
genie, and I'm
right.
working my way trying to get 3 wishes. I only got one, so I got one. What is your wish for love
My
out of for
wish
me?
for love. My wish for love. Hmm. That's a tough one. Um, my wish for love. Um, I would say a committed love, a committed love because, life is not always pretty. There are great times, there are dark times, there are hard times. But when you really make a commitment to get through all of the times and enjoy life together, um, that would be my wish, I guess.
That sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. What makes Wakila? What makes Angel unique? What makes you unique? Why would someone want to be with you? Well, what's your specialty?
Angel? Or what would make someone want to be with Angel?
Well, what makes you unique? Yes.
What makes Angel unique? Hmm. I think one thing that might make Angel unique is that, uh, well, it's not really unique in that she is, the pop off queen. But what makes her unique
Right.
what makes her unique is that I think she has the ability to kind of, self reflect. I think that she'll um, be explosive at some times and moments, but she really, I think, gives the situation a little bit more thought after the fact, and then maybe she'll reapproach in a different way, perhaps.
All right. And really quickly, what makes you yourself, Wakila? What makes her unique?
What makes me
What
unique?
makes you unique?
I would like to believe that I'm very loyal. I'm very, very loyal. Um, Even if, let's say I'm dating someone and we become really, really close, or I'm in a relationship with someone and we become really, really close and we share a lot about each other. And let's say, you know, the relationship is no more. The relationship is and has ended for whatever reason. I still keep those private moments. I still honor those private exchanges, because even though we might not be together right now, at that time it was sacred. So I still honor, the sacredness of those moments, even though we've, gone on our own paths.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not really, um, common, I would
Right.
say.
Right.
But I think that I would say that that's something that is inside me.
Well, now it makes you stand out a little bit more because it used to be. It used to be something where people cherish, but now they really kind of don't. But so if you do it, then you look a little different than someone else. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself as far as love is concerned? It's a love scale. It could be beyond 10. It can be 2,000. But where would you?
20. No.
No, it could be 20. Where would you place yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
What exactly do you mean? That's kind of general. Do you mean
Well, it's a scale of love.
a
Like so,
scale of
if
love?
because we're the only ones talking. If I were to try to get into something with you, or now I was getting into something with you, or a relationship, what
Hmm.
do I have to look for? Do I have to look for working with someone with a 2 or an 8 or a 10?
No,
You
I
know
would
what I
say a
mean?
20. I would say a 20. Naturally, I'm a giving person, I think.
Mm.
Um, And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I've become a little bit more reserved and selective, because I've learned, unfortunately, not everyone should get everything at the outset all the time. You know what I mean? You've got to really allow a relationship to process, and you got to really get to know someone. So I would say at least a 10, or a 10, even a 20.
Okay. And then remember, these are your thought processes of who you are. So if you said 2,000, I would say okay. I would agree, unless I dated and we didn't. So I would say okay, that's cool. Uh,
Now I have to say, there's one thing I have to add to that.
okay.
People are not really like a one size fits all. Like Shawn Cornelius, you could think that what you bring to a love, or a love interest, or a romantic situation, you could think that it's a 20, and
Right.
everything that you're giving.
Exactly.
However, it may not be what the person desires or needs.
Right. That's why it's what you think you are,
Right.
because it doesn't matter what I think. You just think yours is a 20. It could be a 10 to me, or it could
Right.
be it could be
Right.
80. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I
So
think that's fair. I think that's fair. So I think
yeah,
that, chemistry
I got
is an important element, you
I
know.
got some good questions. They're good ones. I
You're
thought
doing
about
all
this.
right.
I thought about what are 3 things, because I know you have to get rolling really quick, really soon. What are 3 things that are turn-ons about men for you? 3 things that are
Three
good about men.
things that are turn-ons about men. Um, hmm. I think that displays of integrity are a turn on.
Okay. All right. All right.
I value a man who is not self-serving like that. That's not his primary mindset. I really like that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, someone who is attentive,
Hmm.
um, and listens well, and someone who's intelligent. That's probably number one. You know, that's probably
Okay.
number one, because I like intellectual stimulation, and good
Yes.
conversation, of course.
All right.
So I would
Very,
say
very
those are
good.
the things.
Very good. Very good. You have respect, honesty, and trust. Respect, honesty, and trust. For this show, you can get rid of one of those and still have a successful relationship. Which one are you throwing out and why?
Respect,
Yep.
honesty, and
Hmm.
trust. Oh gosh, I don't know that I can do that. Respect. You have to have respect. You have to have honesty because honesty and trust kind of come hand in hand. You
Right,
can't
right.
trust someone who is not honest. Uh, so if one had to go, if a person is being honest, that kind of establishes who they are. They're, giving you the real, then
Yep.
automatically trust will follow. So I think I would respect and honesty.
So you take trust and put trust out.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of implied
Okay.
within honesty.
That works. Whatever works is comfortable for you, and you gave us the reason and why. Five things. Five things about the
Five.
world that you love. Five things about the world that you love. We've already talked about things that are problems for you. We talked about things with family and all. Well, five things that you love about the world.
About the world.
And you don't have to tell me why. You could just tell me the five things.
Five things that I love about the world. One of my favorite things is family. I'm very family oriented. My family grounds me and lifts me up, and I would also put friends in that same category as well, because I think that real friends, you have your family that's, you're born with, they're your family because that's, what your last name is, or that's what's in your blood. But sometimes friends are your chosen family. So I would say friends and family is one. Um, Music. I Man, I couldn't imagine a life or a world without music.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, nature, I
Okay.
would say. Um, Purpose is another one, and you know, just human connection, I think.
Right. Some people will throw love in there because love about the world is and that it's the first thing that we discuss or we talk about. But those are fine. Whatever works for you works for
Yeah.
other folks, and that's cool. So I wish you get those things. Three things that are ugly about the world. Three things that are ugly about society or the world that you'd rather not deal with.
Hmm. Um, when you have situations or groups of people that have no regard for humanity, um, that's one thing. Um, Man, that's tough. Selfish people, people who are self-serving,
Sure.
um, and bad music. No, I'm just kidding.
There is some, but we consider. All right.
I mean, it's all subjective and
Sure it is.
relative. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna get you to this last final piece of game, and then we'll get you out of here because we know you got to go. But I have a time frame. I can't. It'll be short, and I got to be honest with you. So, and the people are probably watching me like, well, what is he talking about? There's a time frame set up, so I have to get you in and out. But all right. Um, let's let's go to this really quickly and see where you come up with your favorites. Well, let's find out exactly what you have. All right, and you can answer these with one word answers.
All right. Should
All
I be
right.
afraid? Okay. Go ahead.
Well, you've been all right during the show, so you're way beyond three quarters of the show, so you should be okay except for the last question. But we'll see what happens.
Oh boy.
What
I'm
is your
nervous.
favorite? Your favorite food?
My favorite food. Now, do you mean cuisine, or do you mean one thing that
Did
I
you
could
just throw
eat?
cuisine? Did you throw a big word at me during the
I
show?
mean, you know.
You
Are
get
we
whatever
talking about
what your
Caribbean
favorite.
cuisine? Are we
Whatever your favorite is. If you want to give me one and it's possible, that's fine.
eat? That's tough. That is really, really, really tough.
Like if somebody threw it down in front of you right now, you'd be like, Sean, wait a minute. That's it. And you go to it.
I got to go.
You have to go. You'd have to go.
Yeah. You know what? This may surprise you, but I'm really into veggies. I love veggies. I really,
Okay.
really do. I know that's not very exciting.
No, it doesn't have to be.
you
But
know.
most
But
people will put seafood first. I've gotten seafood a lot. So
yeah,
veggies is good.
no, yeah, I'm not a huge seafood person. Not a huge
Veggies,
seafood person.
okay,
Yeah,
veggies is fine. I'll take veggies,
yeah,
and we
veggies,
can.
a great salad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Okay,
talking about.
that's good. That's good. Your favorite book?
Favorite book? That's also hard. Can I give you two, or does
You
it
can
have to be
you can give me
one?
two. You can
I
give me,
would
you can give me two.
say Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. That is one of the most beautiful novels ever
Okay.
that I've read. There's a lot out there. But another favorite of mine is actually Disappearing Acts by Terry McMillan.
Okay.
I read
Um,
that years and years ago, and it struck me. It struck me. So I
all
would
right.
say those are two favorites.
Okay. We got your two favorite books. Favorite movie?
Crooklyn,
Okay. All right. Favorite flower?
hydrangea. I love
Say
hydrangeas.
hi. Okay. All right. Favorite now, it can be alcoholic and non-alcoholic or whatever. But your favorite drinks?
Hmm. My go-to is I like spiced rum, so Captain Morgan.
Okay.
So rum and coke. That's
Rum and Coke. You
hmm
don't have one that's just one without alcohol.
um water. I love water. I do.
Okay. Most people say water. It's fine. Some people say water. Favorite TV show?
A different world.
Okay. Any
That's
particular reason
hands
why?
down. Oh yeah, hands down, a different world. I think that, the writing was phenomenal. Um, the characters were dynamic, and just the whole profile of the HBCU experience.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, obviously, I was a child when the show came out, but I think that show was not only was it funny, entertaining, it was, there was some jewels that were dropped in that series, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that that show was probably responsible for so many young Black kids going to college.
Right.
So hands
Right.
down, a different world.
Okay. And that was one I watched as well,
Yeah.
growing up. So okay, that sounds good. Let's see. Let's throw an extra one in there because we're gonna throw two and then we'll let you out of here. Favorite singer,
Stevie Wonder.
right? We talked about Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
earlier. Okay. And your favorite vacation spot.
Let me just back up a little bit. Because, music, I'm passionate about music. Stevie
Oh,
Wonder, like I mentioned before, is my
yeah.
favorite, but Donny Hathaway.
Okay. Donny
Oh,
Hathaway. Yeah.
yeah.
So he would be up on that list with Stevie.
He would be on that list with Stevie. People say, jokingly, if you listen to a Donny Hathaway song and you don't feel nothing, we can't be friends. We
And
are
that's the
not the
truth.
same.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, songs that were meant for partying, but songs that made you listen and understand and try to understand the people in the world. So you're
Absolutely.
right. You're absolutely right. All right. Here's what we'll do, and then we'll let you out of here because my time is running well, but it's short. I'll just have to do some other things. Favorite romantic position. Yeah, I had to do it.
Oh
We were
my
cool.
goodness.
Listen, some people in this show, it's not even a shocker. Some people, you go all the way to this last question. That's the only question that kind of, and this wasn't even put by me, but I was like, you know what? All right, let's see what happens
Oh
with these folks,
gosh.
and
Oh.
we'll see where it goes. So you can put romantic. I'll say romantic situation. So you can answer it that way.
Okay. I'm gonna keep this PG. Okay.
Please do whatever you
I
do, but it
love
comes on at 10:30 at night. So whatever you choose to do with yourself.
I love a good embrace. with a man who smells good, and I'll say that. I'll say that. If it's okay with you, I will keep
That
it PG.
Listen, that is fine with me. That is that is beautiful with me. Everything works out fine. You are now out of the love zone, and we'll put you back in the regular situation and close this thing out. Listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you got to bounce out um, to sit down and talk with us more about more than the acting thing and what you love doing. So, if you don't mind, could you please give us one more time your information, uh, and then we'll do what we do.
Sure. Yeah. So you can find me on Facebook, Wakillah Amina, and you can find me on Instagram, Killer Queen Amina. Um, yeah, that's where you can find me on the
All right.
socials.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me and
Yeah, it's
chatting it out
always
with my people.
always a pleasure, Sean. We go way back. So,
Yeah, we do.
talking to you is always a blast.
Well, it's well appreciated, and you were very open and very honest with your answers, and we appreciate that. So you can get in contact with her if you'd like to get in contact with her, um, and we're going to let her go. So please, always go with God in your heart. Have a peace of mind. Have a wonderful, wonderful tomorrow. And as my mom and my dad would say, they would say that. And I know they're shining down, watching over this situation. So if you want to join me, 10:30 at night after dark with Shawn Cornelius, we'll have another special guest in next week. But Wakila, we have Angel. You can also catch her obviously in Just Say You Love Me and Whatever It Takes, When Blood Runs Cold, the movie. And she did an awesome job. And thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank
And
you, Sean.
you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening.
You as well.
All right, you guys take care, and we'll catch you back here after dark with Shawn Cornelius.